The crystal chimed when I lifted my glass. Dot. Too loud. The final dot. My mother's laugh was still hanging in there, brittle and careless, like Shahan just cut something living. The tablecloth was white. The wine was red. Everyone froze. My father's fork hovered midair. My sister stopped chewing. Someone's phone buzzed and kept buzzing, ignored. I didn't blink. Perfect, I said, calm as breath. Then, don't ask for money. Silence slammed into the room. Not slowly, instantly, as if astering had been cut. My father finally looked at me. Looked, and whatever he saw there scared him. Good. It should have that I hadn't planned to say it that way. I'd rehearsed softer exits. Polite boundaries, grace. But betrayal has a way of sharpening the tongue. I set the glass down. Before my hand could shake, they still thought this was about feelings. I was already past that. I had spent my life orbiting that table, never quite seated, close enough to serve, close enough to pay, never close enough to belong. I learned early how to read rooms, how to measure affection usefulness, how love in our house had terms and interest rates. My mother ruled with laughter. My father, enabled with silence. My sister learned the math before I did. I was the investment, the reliable one, the fixer, the wallet with a heartbeat. That night was supposed to be a celebration, a toast to family, Arquest wrapped in flattery. I could smell it before the appetizers came out. The sideways glances, the rehearsed gratitude, the way my mother waited until everyone was watching. You know, she said, smiling wide. You're not really part of this family anyway. She laughed like it was a joke, like it was nothing. Something in me went very still. The signs had been there. Small things. A signature that didn't look like mine. Bank notifications I didn't remember authorizing. Mail redirected. My father avoiding my eyes when finances came up. My mother's sudden confidence when she talked about money she didn't turn. I told myself I was paranoid. That blood was thicker than instinct. It wasn't the first crack. Came in a parking garage. My phone buzzed with a fraud alert while my mother was mid-sentence about temporary loans. The timing felt surgical. I didn't confront her. I smiled. I listened. I watched her hands. They didn't shake. That's when I knew people who lie to survive tremble. People who lie to take do not. I found the documents on a Tuesday. Late, quiet. My apartment lit by the glow of a laptop. I'd wiped clean and rebuilt from scratch. I moved slowly, deliberately, like any sudden motion might spook the truth back into hiding. There it was. My name, my social, my credit, used, stretched, leveraged. They'd opened accounts in my name. Loans, lines off credit. All feeding a failing business me father pretended not to see sinking. All justified in their minds by blood. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I felt something colder slide into place when I confronted them. I chose daylight, the kitchen, the place my mother felt safest. She denied it first, laughed again. Then she blamed me, said I owed them, said family didn't keep score. My father stared at the counter like it might open and swallow him. My sister said nothing. That hurt the most. Gaslighting is ugly when you can see the switch flip. I remember thinking how small they looked, how ordinary, how easily they'd confused my silence for weakness. That was the last day I asked for honesty. After that, I gathered facts. I hired a forensic accountant with a reputation for quiet work. It froze my credit. I pulled records. It traced transactions. Every move they thought was invisible left a bruise. I cataloged them all. There was a second twist, one they hadn't counted on. The money wasn't just misused. It was laundered poorly. Through shell accounts tied to my father's business partner, Aman already under investigation, a man who would trade anyone for time. I didn't warn them. I waited. The dinner was my stage. I let my mother perform. Let her cut me in public, confident I'd swallow it like always. I needed witnesses. I needed the mask off. When I raised my glass, it wasn't a threat. It was a receipt. The fallout came fast. Banks, auditors, letters with heavy seals. Calls my father didn't answer. My mother called me every night for a week. Left messages that slid from rage top leading to silence. I never responded. The partner flipped. Charges followed. Assets were frozen. The business collapsed under its own paper trail. They asked for help. I poured another glass. The last time I saw them was in Asmal room that smelled like disinfectant and regret. My mother didn't laugh. Then my father finally spoke. He said he was sorry. He said he hadn't known how bad it was. I believed him. That didn't change anything. I signed nothing. I promised nothing. I left them with consequences and a mirror. Walking out felt like breathing for the first time. People ask if I regret it. If revenge tasted sweet, it didn't. It tasted clean. Justice isn't loud. It doesn't gloat. It doesn't need applause. It waits. It collects. Dot. I learned something important at Thatable. Family isn't who eats from you, that it's who doesn't starve you first. I raised my glass that night, not to spite them, but to mark the end of their access. The silence that followed wasn't empty. It was freedom.